First, let's break down how Pep Guardiola managed to control the tempo of the game and make our pressing ineffective. His approach was centered around dominance in the middle of the pitch. Normally, United press with 5 players up front supported by 2 pivots. However, Pep allowed Phil Foden to drop deeper during the build-up. With his ability to carry the ball and play incisive passes between the lines, City consistently broke through our press and initiated attacks centrally. Guardiola's strategy revolved around overloading the central areas, often using 3 or 4 midfielders. This numerical superiority allowed City to progress the ball into our final third, especially before halftime, where they applied significant pressure. Moving into the second half, after the introduction of Mainoo, we could see a shift. But before addressing that, it's important to highlight one key absence: Cunha. When he plays, we gain an additional body in midfield. He frequently drops deep to receive the ball and, crucially, has the ability to carry it in tight spaces before distributing it wide to Bruno or the wing-back. This variety opens up several attacking options. In this particular match, however, we lacked a player to perform that role. Bruno prefers staying higher up for counterattacks. Sesko operates as a pure striker, and Ahmad, being more of a winger, doesn't possess Cunha's qualities. A potential adjustment could have been dropping Bruno into Cunha's role, with Mainoo operating as a pivot, which we saw later on. Once Mainoo entered the pitch, we started to see more balance. With Bruno dropping deeper, we effectively formed a 3-man midfield, which helped us retain possession, though they shifted themselves into a lower block. This clip highlights why Amorim urgently needs a defensive midfielder who is comfortable on the ball. For example, in one sequence, City pressed with 5 players. The goalkeeper played the ball into our defensive midfielder, but instead of progressing play, he returned it to the center back, already under pressure from Haaland and Foden running onto him. This led to a dangerous turnover. If Ugarte had taken a cleaner first touch, executed a quick turn, and played directly into Bruno, who was free centrally, we could have launched a counterattack. This incident underlines the lack of technical quality in our current defensive midfield options. If Amorim is to succeed, securing a ball-playing defensive midfielder is crucial. That said, it's not as though we created nothing. We did generate chances, but once again, our lack of clinical finishing cost us. Another recurring issue is our heavy reliance on wide players, particularly the wing-backs, during attacking phases. This reduces our threat through central areas. For example, in one counterattack, Mainoo carried the ball forward but opted to pass to the wing-back. Instead, he had the opportunity to play a through ball into Bruno or Sesko, which could have resulted in a big chance. Furthermore, our tendency to spam hopeful crosses rather than patiently circulating the ball around the opposition box and finding spaces often limits our effectiveness. Finally, first I want to emphasize something I've mentioned in previous analyses: team synergy. In the first half, sloppy passing and miscommunication repeatedly handed possession back to City. Second, if we cannot provide proper service to our striker, the investment in him becomes questionable. Sesko had just one significant moment in the match, which turned into a big chance. The issue isn't with him. He consistently tries to make runs between the lines, but rather with the lack of supply from our players, he's been of no use. To conclude, this match underscored 3 key problems: the need for a technically gifted defensive midfielder, our over-reliance on wingbacks, and the lack of cohesion in ball progression. Addressing these issues will be vital moving forward. If you enjoyed this analysis, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and tap the bell icon to stay updated with future videos.